Hello, friends. So, I'm not going to say that. So, today is day one of the Mistborn reading vlog, and I am really excited to vlog this experience. I've got the messy bun going on, the comfy clothes. Saturday nights, it is Friday night. Friday nights in my house are video game nights, which means I get to read or play games. And tonight I'm choosing to read because we were in town the other day and we stopped at Barnes & Noble and I got the whole trilogy, and I was so excited when we got home that I read the prologue just to see if I was going to like it, and I think I'm really going to enjoy it. So I'm going to start reading this tonight, and I'm going to update you guys along the way how I'm feeling and just try this vlog thing out again. For the purposes of this vlog, I do want to say things like what date it is, because I don't know how long it's going to take me to get through this. It's not that big, but it just depends on like what my life schedule is like and my work schedule. So today is August 7th and it is Friday evening, late, like it's 8:41 right now. So we'll see how it goes. So last night I read a grand total of 15 pages and promptly fell asleep at 9:30. So we're gonna try this again tonight. Back downstairs for video games and reading. Hopefully I'll have some actual thoughts this evening. And in case you didn't know, I went through some old makeup and got rid of a lot. And y'all, this stuff will not come off. Like, everything else came off with soap and water, but this lipstick, I don't even know what brand it is. Apparently it's killer though, because I can't get it off. I can tell I'm really gonna like this book if I can just sit down and read it. Every time I've tried to, I just keep getting distracted. I want like a good day, like 24 hours to just completely devote to this story. Okay, so video game and reading time is over. I'm officially on page 103. I think it's like chapter 6. So far, so good. Scotty's putting pizza away. Say hello. Alright. So far, so good. We're still in like the learning stage. We have our inexperienced character that we're learning everything through her eyes, and then our experienced character that we're getting more information from. It's a bunch of setup right now, but I'm interested in the greater story and what's going on like behind everything and where we're gonna go. So far, everything seems pretty typical to me of just like fantasy tropes in general. Like you have your magic system and you have, like I said, your inexperienced character, your experienced character, your team that you're getting together, and you get to learn about their individual characters. And so far there's nothing unique, which is surprising based off of what I've heard from this. I thought it was going to be a little bit more interesting, but I am enjoying it. Like, it's a good read, so don't get me wrong. But I'm stopping tonight at page 103, and we'll see when I pick it up again. Today is August 8th, and it is currently 11:39, and I am up past my bedtime. So it's bedtime for Bonzo, and I'll update you guys later. So I haven't updated in a while because I haven't read in a while Mistborn, but I wanted to give an update because I'm reading tonight and I'm on like page 230, and I have thoughts and I'm like disappointed in myself because I thought I had better standards than I do. So far it hadn't really been like interesting. We're still kind of in the setup phase and the learning phase. Like, it feels like it's going on forever, and I'm trying to remember that this is like a 3-book series and not everything's going to happen in the first book. But what just got me interested is that Ven went to her first ball and she met the guy that I know is going to become her love interest, because I saw a spoiler of fan art on Brandon Sanderson's Instagram the other day and I was mad, but it's what can I expect? I'm reading this series way late. But as soon as she met her love interest guy, I was like immediately more interested and wanted to keep reading. When she did first meet him, I really hated like how she's trying to get people to not look at her all night. Like she doesn't like being the center of attention. She doesn't like people looking at her. And like immediately as soon as she meets the guy who's supposed to be her love interest, she's like, why is he going to pay attention to me? Maybe I should have worn a fancier dress to get him to pay attention to me. I'm like, she doesn't want anyone to pay attention to her. That doesn't make any sense in my mind. When she first gets to the ball, I'm going to talk about the ball because I just read it, but also I feel like it's important. When she first gets to the ball, right, and she's freaking out because she doesn't like being the center of attention, what I just said, but then she realizes that they're not seeing her. Like, they're seeing the character that she's playing. And that was a really cool, it was a cool thing to read as an introvert who doesn't like a lot of attention. I could feel her anxiety and her stress in this social situation, but then she realizes that they're not actually looking at her, and she is still hiding. It was a cool moment, and I liked the way he wrote it, and I don't know, it was good. It was good stuff. Also, I'm like working backwards from what I just read. The moment in the lair where Cayman, I don't know, her old crew leader's lair where they all got murder-sized and like chopped up, that is when I was like, okay, now it's getting good, now stuff's happening, finally. We're still 200 pages in. I feel like it shouldn't have taken this long for stuff to happen, but maybe this is just fantasy. Maybe this is just fantasy and I haven't actually been reading fantasy. Gosh. Anyways, I liked that. Now stuff's getting good. I got drawn in by the romance because I'm so freaking typical. In other news, we have a bat in our house, and I just went upstairs to take a pee break, and it's flying in my face. Like, usually we haven't been able to get it out. It's been here like a week. Usually it's flying like up high in our really high ceilings, but for some reason tonight it decided to be on eye level with me as I'm trying to sneak up from the basement and go to the bathroom. It was terrifying, and I don't like bats, and I want it to leave. Anyways, that is our page 200 update. I will update you later. I do not know when, because I'm not reading this thing consistently, but it's getting better. Oh, before I go, one thing. I'm reading this and Eliza Locklemore at the same time, and they're both like super hyped up on BookTube, at least by my favorite booktubers. And what I've realized is I get these hype books and then I go in with the expectations that it's going to blow me out of the water, and it doesn't at the very beginning, and I'm disappointed. So I have to readjust my expectations when I come into these hyped books, because it's like their favorite series, their favorite books, because they've read the whole thing and they see the whole picture and they love the whole picture. I'm sure they didn't start out and in the first 100 pages, this is my new favorite book, it's the best book ever. So I have to adjust my expectations when I go into these really popular books of just like, I'm reading a book, not I'm reading the greatest book ever told and it's going to be my new favorite. So I'm trying to adjust to that. Updates as I'm around page 350. I'm really surprised at how, yes, you can flush the toilet. I'm really surprised at how this is a lot of people's favorite book, specifically guys. There's a lot of balls and a lot of dancing and a lot of talk about dresses, and I'm just really surprised. I mean, I'm sure that's not all it is. I'm sure it's only this part for just this part of the book and it changes, but I'm enjoying it because I enjoy that type of thing. I really like Ben and Ellen, is how I'm going to say his name. That may be incorrect. And I know, like, Kelsier's turn, like, his issue with the noble people is, like, why he's telling her to stay away from him. But I'm like, they're so cute! And, like, yes, she should be smarter than to, like, instantly fall for him. But they're so cute! And, like, he is into her, and she's into him. And it's like, it's that typical stereotypical thing of like a meeting of the minds when you're surrounded by all these shallow people and then you find someone who's actually on the same intellectual level as you. It's like a good moment. I really am struggling with Ven's characterization because most of it I feel like is just her saying over and over again, well, I grew up a thief. And when you're a thief, you can't trust in anyone. And it's like over and over again in as many ways as you can. as you can think just constantly. But then also it goes back and forth between her being like, I hate dresses, they're so stupid, but this dress is so beautiful. And I can't tell what's happening, and my gut reaction is to go, stop being so sexist, girls don't have to like dresses. She cannot like dresses and it's fine. But at the same time, she can also like dresses and it's fine. So I can't decide how I feel about where he's going with her character, but I'm sure I'll get a stronger opinion as the book goes on. I'm really enjoying it. It's 11:30 and I don't want to go to bed, but I have to get up at 6 tomorrow. So I'm making myself, but I don't want to because I want to keep reading. So that's always a good sign.
I want chocolate ice cream.
Let's go get some ice cream.
For real?
Yeah. Okay, so it is Monday, August 31st, and I really want to finish this book tonight. I have 250 pages left, but I'm not going to be able to read much in the next week or so, week and a half or so. So I really, really, really want to get it done tonight because I'm just like super into it and I want to know what happens. But I'm nervous that I am not going to finish it because it's going to take me, I can read like 50 pages in an hour, so it's going to take me like 5 hours. Which means if I start reading right now, it'll be 1 a.m. when I'm done. But we're about to go get ice cream, so I don't know. But I'm really into it, and I really want to finish it. So I might have some updates for tonight, hopefully.
We'll stay up. Let's come.
Scotty wants to stay up. Yeah, you want to come be in my vlog? The Scotty.
Hello, my hair is an absolute wreck.
No, it looks cute. I like it. Page 515, I just finished the part where the book shifts and like all the plans that have been made and all the things that we're building up to, it starts, and I lost my mind. I was so excited. I read like so quickly and I was so excited. I wasn't surprised by anything. I was surprised by a few things, but like my mind's just going crazy and it's racing and I can't wait to finish the rest of the books, but I just had, not the rest of the book, but I just had to stop and talk because I was so excited. I was like, yeah, man, you go do your thing. And then she did her thing, but she didn't do what I wanted her to do. But it's fine. She still did the thing. She's just not going to get the credit for the thing, and that's fine. It was just very intense, and so I had to say something. But now I'm going to get back to reading. Okay. So I'm recording in this filter. I have a My Filter on Samsung, and I like this filter a lot. I'm going to see what it's like recording it on video. So, we're going to talk about Mistborn right here, right now, because I read the book probably 3 weeks ago, vlogged every single bit of it up until the night I finished the book, stayed up till like 4 a.m., was so tired I went to bed and was like, I'll record my final thoughts in the morning. And then the next morning I was like, I'll record my final thoughts tomorrow. And here we are 3 weeks later, still no final thoughts recorded. So, final thoughts for Mistborn. Here we go. I gave it 3 stars. Like, I feel like that's an unpopular opinion, but y'all, it was good, but it wasn't that good. I wasn't blown away by the story. I was told that there's like a moment of catharsis when you get to the end of it. Like, you don't even have to finish the rest of the series because you're so satisfied by how the first book ended. And that is not how I felt whatsoever. Let me try to get a little bit more coherent here. Number 1. I had problems with the characterization in this book. I hope it gets better in the rest of the series. I'm going to finish the rest of the series. No worries there. So if any of my thoughts are premature, I need to wait till after I read it. Just let me know in the comments. But I was really bugged by the characterization of our main characters. So Vin, particularly Vin and Kelsier, I really felt like they were two-dimensional. Not one-dimensional, but like they had two aspects of their personality that they just flip-flopped between. So for Vin, this is all spoiler-filled because I don't know how to talk about these without being spoiler-filled. Vin was I grew up homeless and as a beggar and as a thief, and I have all these walls built up. And then her other side was, I'm learning to accept change and friends, and I like dresses now. And she just went back between these two, like, I have to be a boy. I like dresses. I have to be a boy. I like dresses. It was not like, okay, it's better than one dimension, but it's not a full-fledged person. People have more than just two sides to them. And I understand, like, we applaud authors now for giving two sides to their characters, but there needs to be more. Similar with Kelsier. Like, Kelsier was this ego-filled, all about himself, just in it to look good on one side, and then on the other side he was focused on the greater good, and focused on helping people, and focused on saving the world. And then back on this side, he's like, I hate all noblemen, so I'm gonna kill all the noblemen. It was just here, 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 and there wasn't more nuance, and there wasn't more flexibility, and there wasn't more to the characters. They were just two-dimensional. No, bugged me. Man, I talked about that for too long. Okay, second thing. I was really bothered by Vin when she first meets the dude, what's his name? Her love interest. When she first meets her love interest, she instantly turns into a giggly teenage girl, where the whole first part of the book, we're talking about how she's not like other girls because she grew up differently. She doesn't react that way. And then she meets him and she's like, oh, I got sucked in though. I'm a sucker for a romance. So as soon as that started, and it was really cute, like this kind of, like, they had an instant connection, but they weren't really supposed to be into each other. And they're like, kind of got this like banter going back and forth. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. So it pulled me in. That's what got me in. So I'm sucked into the story, I'm going. And as we're going, I'm realizing that this book isn't following the formula that I'm used to. So I'm used to a trilogy with a crew and a quest. And the crew comes up with a plan to complete the quest. And in the trilogy, we have the first book sets up the crew and the quest, and like the plans of what's going to happen. And maybe the first bit of the plan happens, but then the rest of it's going to happen in the second book. And in the third book, you're going to have your final big hoorah, the culmination of the plan. You're going to get your quest completed here in the third book. And as we were reading, I was like, oh, this is not what's happening. We're not following this formula, okay? Because all of that is happening in one book. And it took me until like 3/4 of the way through. I was like, oh, no, we're doing the whole plan in this book. We're taking down the Empire in this book. We're not waiting till book 3 to take down the Empire. I was intrigued by that. I'm like, oh, we're going to get the full showdown here. But then that caused problems because we spent so much time in the beginning, and I know this is one of Sanderson's biggest criticisms that people give him, is that his setup and his intro is so long and so info dumpy. So I know I'm not sharing anything new here, but it caused pacing problems when you get to the end and you're having to cram in the rest of the plot in 100 pages, where they're doing all the things in 100 pages, and it was so rushed to me. And I understand you're supposed to get to the end and be like very interested and very excited, and so you go through it really quickly, but it felt so rushed to me, and I just couldn't believe how much was happening in so short of a time. So that's 2, 3, I don't know where I think that was 3, okay. 4, Kelsier and his savior complex deal. I personally felt like it was out of character. The self-sacrifice, I have a hidden plan the whole time that you guys weren't aware of. I saved the day the whole time. I set it all up perfectly. Didn't feel in character to me. It felt like this is what Sanderson wanted to happen, so it happened, and not this was what organically came from Kelsier's character. Because he's not that kind of guy who is gonna, he makes the elaborate plan, but he lets people in on at least some of it. And withholding all of this to himself, except for, I understand, the one character in on it to help get Vin along on the conversation. But it really felt like he kept it all to himself. And then at the end, it was just like, oh, I'm your magic savior. And I felt like that was super not his character, not the storyline of the book. It just felt really weird to me. So I have all these problems, but this is people's like favorite series, like top 10 lists for people who read non-stop fantasy all the time, and I don't understand. And it honestly makes me a little apprehensive about how I'm going to feel about the rest of sci-fi fantasy, the rest of fantasy, because I didn't like it. Like, it was fine, but I didn't think it was the greatest thing ever. And I understand that there are different strokes for different folks and different tastes in stories and execution. Maybe I'm not a Sanderson fan. Maybe I'll like him better as the books go on. But I was just disappointed, honestly, at the ending. Like, it didn't feel warranted. None of it felt warranted. I could probably talk for an hour, and maybe I will in the future. Maybe I'll do a reread and then spend an hour just rehashing the last 100 pages of this book, because I'm just disappointed that people kept telling me that this book was amazing and it was my way into enjoying fantasy, adult fantasy, and then I didn't like it. Which I don't blame them, obviously. Like I said, different tastes. My taste just doesn't jive. Let's talk about this magic system. This is point number 5. Most people like go head over heels for this magic system because it's very tangible, it's very hard, it has fast rules. I thought it was fine. I thought it was a little weird. I wanted to know more of the mechanics behind the magic system, and maybe I'll get that in books 2 and 3. I understand. But I wanted to know, what is it about 10 as a metal that gives you heightened senses? Not just 10 gives you heightened senses, but what is it about the essence of 10 that reacts this way in your body? Also, how does this work? What is the mechanics of your body metabolizing metal? Because as far as I know, that shit just passes through your system, except for iron. Like, you absorb iron and it goes into your bloodstream. But, like, I want to know more about how it works. Maybe we'll get there. I liked how they combined kind of 2 magic systems to give this one powerful ruler. You know, he could do both things, so that makes him super powerful. Not that he's actually a god, but that he's just super powerful because he can use both of these things. Like, I understand there's 2 more books and he must have had this planned out, but I was disappointed by the fact that the ruler was so pathetic. Like, literally no one's been able to defeat him for hundreds of thousands of years, but yet Ven comes up and she's just able to. And then there was a conversation at some point with her where she's like, well, am I special because I did this? And they're like, no, you're not special. You're just sort of stronger than other people. Like, there are other people like you. You're not like unique in oneness, but you are just stronger than others, just stronger than average. I'm like, so you're telling me that there wasn't a stronger than average Allomancer at some other point in this history of this guy ruling this nation for hundreds of thousands of years? I don't even know how long it was, but for forever, and they're not able to figure this shit out. It just didn't seem believable to me, and I'm disappointed because I wanted to love this book. I wanted this to be my new favorite series, and I was let down so hard. And I don't think I realized how hard I was let down till just this moment. Like, I thought I was just kind of meh on it, and now I'm just like, wow, I actually enjoyed the book. I don't know why it's all hitting me that I was disappointed by it right now, because I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed my reading experience once I got sucked in. I tabbed a lot of stuff. I wrote down what I liked, what I didn't like. I liked the general pacing, not the specific pacing. No. Otherwise, I liked the specific pacing of moment-to-moment action. I did not like the general overall pacing of the novel. Oh, I love the atmosphere. The colors and the feel and the spooky mist and the gray and the red and the black and the ash. The way he talked about the ash, I was really into that. Really into that. Okay, 3 weeks later, here we are. Those are my final thoughts on Mistborn. I hope they weren't too rambly. I hope I can condense all this into one coherent, well-produced video eventually, even though I just keep recording and not editing anything. Thank you for sticking around to this part of the video. If you agree or disagree with my thoughts on how Mistborn's actually disappointing, let me know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.